As the political landscape in the United States continues to evolve, Donald Trump's approval ratings remain a focal point of discussion among analysts and citizens alike. Recent polling data reveals a stark divide in opinions, particularly among demographics in New York, where sentiments towards the former president demonstrate a complex interplay between local and national sentiments. On April 22, 2025, the Poughkeepsie Journal reported that Trump's approval ratings among New Yorkers reflect a broader trend seen in various national polls. Despite his polarizing nature, some constituents express support for Trump's policies, particularly in areas concerning economic growth and job creation. However, the data also indicates significant opposition, particularly among urban voters who criticize his approach to immigration and social issues. As one political analyst noted, Trump's appeal in New York is often overshadowed by his contentious policies. Yet there remains a base that values his economic assertions. In contrast to these localized sentiments, the Jacksonville Journal-Courier highlighted a troubling economic outlook as assessed by the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which attributes a worsening global economic situation to the tariffs imposed during Trump's presidency. The IMF's recent report indicates that these tariffs have led to increased costs for consumers and businesses alike, negatively impacting international trade relations. The report states the ripple effects of protectionist policies are felt far beyond U.S. borders, stifling growth and creating a climate of uncertainty for global markets. This analysis underscores the ongoing debate regarding the effectiveness of Trump's economic strategies, with critics arguing that short-term gains may lead to long-term consequences. Further complicating the narrative, polling data from multiple sources including Fox, Gallup, and Reuters paints a nuanced picture of Trump's current standing. The Rockford Register-Star reports that while some polls show a slight uptick in Trump's approval ratings, particularly in conservative strongholds, others reveal a decline in support among independent voters, a critical demographic for any future electoral success. Trump's brand remains strong among his core supporters, but the challenge lies in expanding that base beyond loyalists, said a political strategist familiar with the polling landscape. Additionally, a recent study published by the Center for Economic Policy Research (CEPR) emphasizes the importance of migration and knowledge transfer in economic development, suggesting that policies fostering inclusivity could lead to a more robust economy. The report argues that the intergenerational transmission of knowledge through diverse populations is a vital component for innovation and growth. A point that stands in stark contrast to the more isolationist tendencies observed in recent U.S. policy. As we look toward the future, the implications of these findings suggest that Trump's political strategies will need to evolve to address the changing sentiments of voters, particularly if he aims to regain significant traction in critical states like New York. The ongoing discourse around tariffs, immigration, and economic policy will likely play a central role in shaping both public opinion and the broader political landscape as the next election cycle looms. The coming months will be telling as both supporters and detractors of Trump's policies navigate the complexities of an increasingly polarized electorate. On April 22, 2025, a remarkable juxtaposition of historical and contemporary advancements in communication and healthcare emerged, underscoring a century's worth of innovation and adaptation in American society. This date marks the centenary of the first-ever radio broadcast of the Kentucky Derby, a moment that not only revolutionized how sporting events were shared with the public but also set the stage for the dynamic evolution of media and technology over the last 100 years. As we reflect on this milestone, it is also essential to consider the latest findings in telehealth, which reveal its potential to significantly reduce carbon emissions, a perfect illustration of how modern technology can intersect with environmental stewardship. A recent study published in the American Journal of Managed Care highlights the environmental benefits of telehealth services, which gained immense popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to researchers, telemedicine has been instrumental in decreasing the number of vehicles on the road, thereby cutting monthly carbon dioxide emissions by an amount equivalent to that produced by 130,000 gas-powered cars. The study quantified nearly 1.5 million telemedicine visits across urban and rural settings from April to June 2023, estimating that between 741,000 and 1.35 million of these consultations replaced in-person visits. Dr. Mark Fendrick, a co-senior author of the study and a professor at the University of Michigan, emphasized the significance of these findings. The healthcare sector contributes significantly to the global carbon footprint, he stated in a press release. Current estimates suggest that the U.S. healthcare system is responsible for nearly 9% of the country's carbon emissions, while transportation accounts for about 29%. The implications of Dr. Fendrick's research suggest that adopting lower carbon options like telemedicine can substantially mitigate the environmental impact of medical care. Despite these promising findings, researchers cautioned that the study's demographics might not fully represent the broader population, potentially skewing the results. With telehealth usage declining post-pandemic, there are concerns about whether the initial estimates of averted emissions will hold true in the long run. Nevertheless, the insights from this research could play a crucial role in shaping future healthcare policies, especially as Congress deliberates on extending pandemic-era flexibilities for telehealth services. While the world of healthcare is advancing towards greener solutions, the excitement in the sports arena is palpable as well. The NFL Draft is set to commence on April 24, 2025, with fans eagerly anticipating the selections that could reshape their favorite teams. This year's draft will be held at Lambeau Field, and the first-round picks are expected to begin at 7 p.m. Central Time. The Green Bay Packers, holding the 23rd pick, are projected to make their selection around 9:58 p.m. Central Time, adding an extra layer of suspense to an event that has become a spectacle of its own. As we celebrate the historical significance of the Kentucky Derby's radio broadcast and acknowledge the innovative strides in telehealth, it becomes clear that technology continues to shape our world in profound ways. The intersection of these two narratives, one rooted in the past and the other focused on sustainable progress, illustrates the potential for future advancements that can not only connect us but also pave the way for a healthier planet. As we look ahead, the challenge will be to ensure that the innovations we embrace serve the dual purpose of enhancing our lives and safeguarding our environment. In a groundbreaking discovery, researchers have revealed that Andean bears, previously thought to be nearly mute, possess a rich and varied vocal repertoire. This exciting finding, documented for the first time in any bear species, was made possible by the use of camera traps in the remote forests of the Colombian and Bolivian Andes. The study, published in the Mexican Journal of Biodiversity, highlights the bears' vocalizations during mating, shattering long-held assumptions about their communication abilities. The Andean bear, known for its distinctive light-colored facial markings resembling glasses, had only a few recorded vocal exchanges, primarily between mothers and their cubs in captivity. However, the recent footage captured during the bears' mating rituals revealed a surprising array of sounds. These include moans, growls, and purrs, as well as 5 distinct vocalizations, each serving a specific purpose. Research associate Angela Mendoza, who contributed to the study, noted the literature said these animals were silent, but we could see they were constantly making many sounds, for hours. The study detailed one particular sound called the bite, which is a sharp squeal made by females in response to mating. This sound is triggered by the male's bite on the neck, intensifying the mating process. Nicholas Reyes-Amaya, curator of the Humboldt Institute's mammal collection and co-author of the study, explained it's the oral response to the male's bite on the neck during mating. The male becomes a little more excited and the two enter a more intense phase. For the first time, the sexual and romantic sounds of the Andean bear have been quantitatively analyzed, moving beyond vague anecdotal descriptions into concrete data. This advancement opens up new avenues for understanding bear communication and behavior. Reyes-Amaya remarked, "This study is wonderful in itself, because it helps us understand and learn a little more about a majestic being." The research team documented mating activity in various locations over 3 months, marking the first instance of observing Andean bears mating in the wild. The elusive nature of these bears, which can measure up to 6.56 feet in length, poses challenges for researchers as they are adept at hiding in treetops, making direct observations rare. Mendoza now emphasized the importance of recording sounds from different regions to investigate potential dialects among populations, as Andean bears inhabit a vast range from Venezuela to Bolivia. This revelation not only enriches our understanding of the Andean bear but also prompts further inquiry into the vocal behaviors of other bear species. For instance, while polar bears are known for their silence, other species like black bears exhibit varying vocalizations. The newfound knowledge about Andean bears invites comparisons and analyses that could deepen our comprehension of bear communication across different environments. As scientists continue to explore the nuances of animal communication, the Andean bear's vocal repertoire represents a significant leap forward in our understanding of wildlife behavior and ecology. Future research could unveil further complexities in bear interactions, potentially redefining how we interpret animal communication in the wild. This discovery not only enhances our appreciation of the Andean bear but also emphasizes the need for continued conservation efforts to protect this remarkable species and its habitat. In a rapidly evolving global landscape, the United States finds itself at a critical juncture in its biotechnology and pharmaceutical sectors. As the nation grapples with the implications of outsourcing and foreign dependencies, industry leaders and policymakers are calling for a re-evaluation of strategies to reclaim America's competitive edge in biotech. The stakes are not just economic, they intertwine with national security, public health, and the future of healthcare innovation. Jamie Dimon, CEO of J.P. Morgan, recently underscored the connection between economic and national security during an interview on Fox Business. Economic security and national security are almost directly related in the long run, he stated, highlighting the urgent need to address vulnerabilities within the U.S. supply chain, particularly in pharmaceuticals. This sentiment resonates amid growing concerns that America's reliance on foreign production of active pharmaceutical ingredients (APIs) poses a significant risk to both healthcare continuity and national defense. The call for action is further fueled by a recent Wall Street Journal report revealing that a congressional commission is advocating for a $15 billion federal investment aimed at bolstering U.S. biotech and pharmaceutical capabilities. The urgency of this initiative stems from China's substantial advancements in the biotech field, which can be attributed to decades of strategic planning. Michael Pillsbury's book The 100-Year Marathon serves as a cautionary tale, revealing how U.S. policies have inadvertently facilitated the transfer of vital knowledge and resources to a rival power. China has not only acquired biotech startups but has also amassed intellectual property and dominated global supply chains. This dynamic has resulted in a scenario where U.S. policymakers, often focused on short-term gains, failed to recognize the long-term implications of such trends. The need for a shift in perspective is critical. Policymakers must begin to view APIs as strategic assets akin to oil reserves, essential for national security. Restoring a robust biomanufacturing capacity and reshoring pharmaceutical supply chains are not about retreating into isolationism, rather they represent a strategic recalibration to ensure economic independence. The global marketplace remains vital, but the rules governing trade must be fair, transparent, and enforceable, especially concerning intellectual property protections. As the U.S. navigates this complex landscape, it must prioritize long-term resilience over short-term profits. The COVID-19 pandemic starkly exposed the fragility of U.S. supply chains, revealing how dependence on foreign suppliers for critical drugs and medical supplies can jeopardize public health in times of crisis. To counter this vulnerability, a comprehensive strategy is needed, one that not only strengthens manufacturing capabilities but also invests in talent and domestic innovation. While some costs may rise in the short term, the long-term benefits of reshoring pharmaceutical production could redefine the healthcare infrastructure in the U.S. This transformation would encompass how healthcare is built, financed, and sustained, ultimately enhancing national security and economic competitiveness. To achieve this goal, the U.S. must cultivate an environment that attracts pharmaceutical investment and fosters innovation. Policies should emphasize fair trade practices, robust intellectual property protections, and initiatives that reward long-term value creation rather than merely responding to quarterly earnings pressures. As the competition for global biotech leadership intensifies, the urgency for strategic action has never been greater. Looking ahead, the future of America's biotech sector hinges on a collective commitment to reclaiming its edge. By prioritizing strategic investments and fostering an ecosystem conducive to innovation, the U.S. can position itself as a leader in pharmaceutical advancements, ensuring the safety and health of its citizens while navigating the complexities of a global marketplace. The time to act is now, for the challenges of tomorrow will require resilient solutions forged today. In an unprecedented clash, former President Donald Trump's escalating feud with Harvard University is raising alarms about the potential economic fallout for the Boston area, a hub known for its prestigious educational institutions and affluent residents. With threats to freeze $2.2 billion in federal funding and revoke the university's tax-exempt status, experts warn that the implications of this conflict could result in a wealth spiral effect that may stifle economic growth and consumer confidence in a region heavily reliant on higher education. Evan Horowitz, executive director of Tufts University's Center for State Policy Analysis, articulated the gravity of the situation, noting that historically higher education has served as a stabilizing force during economic uncertainties. In times of financial distress, people flock to universities to enhance their job prospects, but this time we are witnessing a reversal where these institutions are now seen as agents of instability, he stated in an interview with Fortune. This shift is particularly concerning given the Trump administration's insistence on federal oversight of Harvard's admissions and hiring practices, which the university has firmly resisted. The White House spokesperson Harrison Fields emphasized the administration's stance, declaring, "The gravy train of federal assistance to institutions like Harvard, which enriched their grossly overpaid bureaucrats with tax dollars from struggling American families, is coming to an end." Such rhetoric has sparked fears that potential cuts to Harvard's funding could ripple through the local economy, especially as the university employs approximately 20,000 people and plays a pivotal role in the region's healthcare and research sectors. The potential ramifications of these funding cuts are multifaceted. Harvard, with a staggering endowment of $53.2 billion, contributes significantly to the Massachusetts economy, spending over $574 million on salaries and local goods and services in a single fiscal year. Moreover, its investment in biotechnology companies, over $9.2 billion in venture capital, has created thousands of jobs and fostered innovation, further intertwining its financial well-being with that of the broader community. Jason Newton, a spokesperson for Harvard, warned that cuts would not only diminish financial aid for students but also jeopardize critical medical research programs. Horowitz elaborated on the consequences of the current climate, describing a self-fulfilling prophecy where economic anxiety leads to reduced spending among high-income residents. This pattern has been observed in previous downturns where fear of instability often precipitates actual economic decline. People feel like they're doing worse before they start actually doing worse, which encourages them to pull back on spending, he noted. Given that individuals earning over $250,000 annually account for nearly half of all U.S. consumer spending, a downturn in confidence among Boston's affluent could have extensive repercussions. As Boston grapples with these challenges, the stakes remain high. The city is home to a significant concentration of millionaires, and its reputation as a desirable location for wealthy young professionals is closely tied to the presence of elite educational institutions. Bruce Kimball, an emeritus professor at Ohio State University, articulated that the economic dividends provided by universities extend beyond direct employment as they attract families and highly educated individuals to the region. Looking ahead, the unfolding situation at Harvard serves as a microcosm of broader tensions between higher education and government policy. As the Trump administration continues to assert its influence over academic institutions, The outcome of this feud could redefine the landscape of higher education funding in the U.S. and the economic stability of regions reliant on these institutions. With Harvard at the center of this storm, the implications for Boston's economy and the future of higher education funding remain uncertain and worthy of close attention. A significant development for the iconic motorcycle manufacturer Harley-Davidson is reportedly considering the sale of its financing arm Harley-Davidson Financial Services HDFS, a move that could potentially net the company upwards of $1 billion. This information sourced from Bloomberg highlights a critical juncture for the company as it navigates internal challenges and external market pressures. The discussions surrounding HDFS come at a time of notable instability within Harley-Davidson. CEO Johann Zeitz's announcement to step down after 5 years, coupled with board member Jared Dirdeville's abrupt resignation, underscores the tumultuous landscape the company faces. Dirdeville's resignation, which included a pointed letter to the SEC expressing dissatisfaction with current management, has fueled speculation about the company's direction. These transitions occur against the backdrop of a proxy fight led by major shareholder H Partners, which seeks to reshape the board, including the departure of Zeitz. HDFS plays a pivotal role in Harley-Davidson's business model, providing financing options that have made its premium motorcycles more accessible to consumers. As such, the potential divestiture raises questions about the long-term strategy of the brand, particularly as motorcycle prices continue to rise. The financing unit has not only been a steady revenue stream but also a crucial component in fostering customer loyalty and expanding market reach. Bloomberg's report suggests that potential buyers for HDFS could include banks and private equity firms. Although no formal decision has been made, Harley-Davidson has opted not to comment directly on the speculation, stating in an email to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that it does not engage in market rumors. This cautious stance indicates a careful deliberation process, weighing the benefits of a sale against the operational advantages of retaining control over HDFS. Investor reactions to the news have been mixed. Some analysts argue that selling HDFS could be detrimental, stripping the company of a vital asset during a challenging period. They emphasize that having a financing arm allows Harley to maintain a direct relationship with customers, which is increasingly important as economic conditions fluctuate. The current climate, characterized by rising interest rates and inflationary pressures, only heightens the urgency for Harley-Davidson to make informed decisions that will secure its future. As Harley-Davidson contemplates the fate of HDFS, the broader implications for the company and its stakeholders remain to be seen. The potential sale reflects not only a strategic pivot but also a response to ongoing financial and operational pressures. Moving forward, the company must navigate its internal upheavals while making decisions that align with its long-term vision and market positioning. The future of HDFS, whether sold or retained, will undoubtedly shape the next chapter in Harley-Davidson's storied legacy. In a remarkable discovery that challenges conventional understandings of animal behavior, researchers have unveiled a unique defensive mechanism employed by newly hatched warty birch caterpillars. While many creatures resort to the familiar triad of fight, flee, or freeze when threatened, these tiny caterpillars, measuring just a grain of pepper, have adopted a distinct fourth strategy: vibrating. This astonishing behavior not only showcases the complexity of their sensory world but also provides insights into their territorial instincts. The recent study published in the Journal of Experimental Biology reveals that when confronted by an intruder, warty birch caterpillars engage in a series of vigorous vibratory actions. These actions include drumming their heads, shaking their bodies, and scraping their posterior against the leaves they inhabit. This intricate display serves as a warning signal to potential competitors, effectively declaring their territory is off-limits. As Jane E. Yak, a neuroethologist at Carleton University and the study's senior author, notes, this research takes me into how complex the sensory world of even a tiny organism is that humans are just not aware of. To study these behaviors, researchers employed advanced technology including close-up videos and a laser Doppler vibrometer, which captures vibrations without direct contact. Yak likens the caterpillar's vibrations to the roars of lions in their intensity, emphasizing how vital sound can be in their communication. For such small caterpillars, their vibrations are like lion roars, she states, highlighting the significance of these signals in their ecological interactions. The caterpillar's territorial behavior likely stems from their need to protect prime real estate on the leaf tips where they feed and live. The leaf tip not only provides nourishment but also an escape route should their warning fail to deter intruders. If an intruder persists, the caterpillars can drop a silk thread, allowing them to flee swiftly, reminiscent of a superhero's escape. Interestingly, Yak suggests that these vibrations could also serve as a bluff, drawing parallels to spiders that utilize similar movements to ward off threats. It's a distinct possibility that they're mimicking a spider to deter somebody else from taking over their precious leaf tip, she explains. This potential mimicry adds another layer of complexity to the caterpillar's behavior, showcasing the intricate strategies employed in nature. Andrew Mason, an animal communication researcher at the University of Toronto Scarborough, commented on the study's implications, stating, "Like singing birds, these caterpillars are also declaring ownership of their territories and competing with rivals, in this case by sending vibrations through the leaf surface rather than the air." This study provides a rare glimpse into a world that typically goes unnoticed, revealing the rich tapestry of interactions that occur even among the smallest of organisms. As we continue to explore the behaviors of these remarkable caterpillars, it becomes evident that their complex communication strategies may inform broader ecological principles and deepen our understanding of animal interactions. The implications of this study extend beyond the caterpillar's territory, emphasizing the importance of sensory communication in shaping the dynamics of ecosystems. Looking ahead, researchers are eager to uncover further insights into how these tiny creatures navigate their world, potentially revealing more secrets of nature's intricate designs. The rising prevalence of obesity has become a significant public health challenge globally, with the World Obesity Federation projecting that by 2035 more than half of the world's population could be classified as overweight or obese. This alarming trend underscores the urgent need for effective weight management strategies, with low-energy diets (LED) and very low-energy diets (VLED) emerging as potential interventions. A recent study published in the International Journal of Obesity investigates the perspectives of Danish clinical dietitians on the utilization, attitudes and experiences surrounding these dietary approaches in treating severe obesity. Conducted by researchers Caroline Brun-Abeld and colleagues, this cross-sectional study surveyed 76 dietitians across Denmark to assess their current practices regarding LED and VLED. It revealed a stark contrast in usage compared to international counterparts, with only 16% of participants reporting that they currently employ these diets in their clinical practice. The authors note that this low utilization raises questions about the barriers and motivations that dietitians face when considering these dietary interventions. Among the key findings, the study identified significant concerns regarding the long-term effectiveness of LED and VLED, as well as anxieties about potentially fostering disordered eating behaviors in clients. As one dietitian remarked, it requires disordered eating behavior to maintain a significant weight loss in the long term. Furthermore, many participants expressed a preference for gradual lifestyle changes aligned with health authorities' recommendations, which emphasize sustainable weight loss over quick fixes. Interestingly, while the majority of dietitians acknowledged the evidence supporting the efficacy of LED and VLED for initial weight loss, motivation to recommend these diets was mixed. The study revealed that dietitians who had more experience displayed a higher understanding and confidence in using LED/VLED compared to their less experienced colleagues. This discrepancy highlights a potential need for additional training and resources to bolster dietitians' confidence in employing these strategies effectively. Qualitative responses from participants shed light on the complexities of implementing LED and VLED in practice. Many dietitians called for more organizational support, such as continued client assistance from specialists to ensure comprehensive care and address concerns about weight maintenance post-program. As one participant noted, there is a need for rehab regarding weight maintenance, maybe attach dietitians via general practice. The study also emphasized the importance of individualized treatment approaches, with many dietitians advocating for assessments tailored to clients' specific needs and motivations. This perspective aligns with broader trends in healthcare that prioritize patient-centered care, recognizing that effective weight management interventions must consider the psychological and physiological aspects of dietary changes. Despite the challenges highlighted in the study, including a limited response rate and the small sample size of dietitians currently utilizing LED/VLED, the findings are crucial for understanding the barriers to more widespread adoption of these diets in Denmark. The authors argue for enhanced educational efforts and resources to integrate LED and VLED more effectively into obesity treatment, emphasizing the need for a nuanced understanding of these dietary strategies among health professionals. Looking ahead, the interplay between dietitians' attitudes and the evolving landscape of obesity treatment underscores the importance of ongoing research and collaboration. As healthcare systems grapple with the complexities of obesity management, the integration of LED and VLED into clinical practice may hinge on addressing the perceived barriers, enhancing training opportunities, and fostering a culture of evidence-based, individualized care. As the dialogue around obesity treatment continues to evolve, the insights gained from this study may pave the way for more effective interventions that prioritize both weight loss and the overall well-being of clients. In an era where adaptability and innovation drive corporate success, Boston's business landscape reflects a dynamic intersection of technology, finance, and community engagement. Recent developments reveal both challenges and opportunities for the region's economy, highlighting the importance of strategic initiatives by local companies and policymakers. One notable trend is the growing allure of Boston as a hub for startups, fueled by innovative strategies aimed at attracting burgeoning companies. A venture capital firm headquartered on Causeway Street has taken a bold step by offering free office space to emerging software firms. This initiative has already welcomed 11 startups, providing them with vital resources in a city known for its high cost of living and competitive business environment. By alleviating some financial pressure, the firm hopes to foster creativity and growth within the local tech ecosystem. As Boston's economic scene evolves, it faces challenges that could impact its future. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) recently downgraded its global economic growth forecast, projecting a modest 2.8% increase for the year, down from earlier estimates. The IMF attributed this slowdown to escalating tariffs imposed by the Trump administration, which have raised concerns about trade relations and their potential ripple effects on local economies. Analysts warn that such trade tensions could exacerbate existing vulnerabilities within the Boston area, particularly in sectors heavily reliant on international partnerships. In another significant development, Swiss pharmaceutical giant Roche announced a monumental $50 billion investment in the United States over the next 5 years, with substantial allocations earmarked for high-tech research and development facilities in Massachusetts, California, Indiana, and Pennsylvania. This investment is poised to bolster the local economy and solidify Boston's reputation as a leader in biotechnology and healthcare innovation. According to Roche's leadership, this move reflects a commitment to advancing medical research and addressing pressing healthcare needs through cutting-edge technology. Meanwhile, the region grapples with the implications of recent federal policy shifts. The National Institutes of Health (NIH) has introduced a ban on future grants to universities with diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) programs or those participating in boycotts against Israel. This controversial policy has raised alarm among public media executives and educational institutions in New England, who argue that federal support is crucial for maintaining robust public media services in an era of tightening budgets. The potential fallout from these changes could further strain resources and limit the capacity of local organizations to fulfill their missions. On the political front, Boston's mayoral race is heating up, with challenger Josh Kraft drawing lessons from the recent ousting of San Francisco's incumbent mayor. Kraft's campaign seeks to tap into the frustrations of residents and capitalize on a growing appetite for change within the city. As he positions himself against Mayor Michelle Wu, Kraft emphasizes the importance of addressing pressing issues such as housing affordability and public safety, concerns that resonate deeply with voters. As Boston navigates these multifaceted challenges and opportunities, the future remains uncertain but ripe with potential. The convergence of innovation, investment, and community engagement could pave the way for a revitalized economic landscape. Stakeholders from various sectors will need to collaborate, adapt, and embrace new strategies to ensure that Boston not only weathers the storms of change but also emerges as a front-runner in the global economy. The coming months will be critical in shaping the city's trajectory, as both local leaders and residents play pivotal roles in defining the future of this vibrant metropolis. In a climate of uncertainty marked by fluctuating trade policies and economic volatility, the venture capital landscape is undergoing significant strain. Investors are increasingly concerned that President Donald Trump's recent tariff announcements could hinder the growth of startups, particularly in the tech sector. This anxiety comes on the heels of Trump's declaration of reciprocal tariffs, which sent shockwaves through global markets upon their introduction on April 2, 2025. Although some tariffs have been paused for 90 days, the lingering 145% tariff on Chinese goods raises questions about the long-term implications for venture capital investments. Tom Drummond, managing partner at Heavybit, expressed a sense of confusion among investors, stating, "No one knows what the hell is going on." This sentiment resonates throughout the venture capital community, as many firms pivot to reassess their strategies in light of the evolving trade situation. With tariffs still in play, especially against hardware companies, some investors are opting to extend their investment cycles and are reevaluating their portfolios. M.G. Siegler, an independent investor and former GV management company partner, noted that discussions about tariffs dominated recent partner meetings, reflecting the pervasive concern about their impact on the investment climate. The ramifications of these tariffs could be profound. Drummond emphasized that firms with portfolios heavily reliant on international trade, such as those in hardware and clean tech, are facing immediate challenges. Companies like the Internet of Things platform he manages are already adjusting their strategies, exploring alternative supply chains outside of China to mitigate the effects of the tariffs. This shift could lead to a longer-term distancing from hardware startups, which Siegler observes are already viewed as riskier investments. In the face of these challenges, communication is paramount. Chip Hazard, a general partner at Flybridge Capital, recently reached out to over 400 startup founders, urging them to remain calm but alert to the turmoil in capital markets. He underscored the importance of closing any pending funding rounds quickly and approaching capital deployment with caution. Charles Hudson, managing partner at Precursor, echoed this sentiment, noting that uncertainty surrounding the tariffs complicates strategic planning for venture firms. He anticipates that secondary markets will play an increasingly significant role in providing liquidity over the next few years as the traditional pathways to exits become less predictable. The uncertain trade environment is also impacting the initial public offering (IPO) market. After a slow period in 2022, there had been signs of recovery in 2024. But many startups are now hesitating to pursue public debuts. Companies like Chime and Klarna have paused their IPO plans, reflecting a broader trend of caution among tech firms in light of the tariffs. KPMG's recent report highlighted that lingering market uncertainties are prompting a re-evaluation of investment priorities, with some companies needing additional funding before they can consider going public. Despite the challenges posed by the tariffs, certain sectors may emerge as resilient. Industries such as artificial intelligence, defense technology, and logistics, especially those focusing on nearshoring, could attract investment as firms seek safer bets in the face of geopolitical volatility. Siegler noted that startups in defense tech might benefit from their previous aversion to the Chinese supply chain, positioning them favorably in the current landscape. As the venture capital community grapples with these uncertainties, the long-term repercussions of Trump's tariffs remain to be seen. While the immediate impact has led to a cautious approach among investors, some analysts continue to identify pockets of opportunity. As the landscape evolves, it will be crucial for startups and investors alike to adapt their strategies to navigate the complexities of a changing economic environment, with the hope that clarity will emerge as the tariff situation develops further. In a sweeping move that could redefine its operational framework, the U.S. State Department has announced a substantial overhaul aimed at streamlining its bureaucracy and enhancing efficiency. This significant restructuring, which entails a reduction in both the number of staff and organizational bureaus, reflects the Biden administration's commitment to adapt to the evolving global landscape and internal challenges. The overhaul comes amid rising criticisms regarding the effectiveness of the State Department in addressing contemporary foreign policy issues. "We are facing a world that is more complex and interconnected than ever before," said Secretary of State Antony Blinken during a press briefing. This restructuring is not just about reducing numbers, it's about ensuring that we are equipped to respond more effectively to the challenges ahead. The plan aims to consolidate various bureaus to eliminate redundancies and create a more agile workforce. According to State Department officials, the restructuring will lead to a reduction of approximately 20% of current staff, which officials argue is necessary for reallocating resources towards critical areas such as cybersecurity and climate change diplomacy. The decision has sparked a debate on the potential impacts on U.S. foreign relations, particularly as the department seeks to maintain its influence amid intensifying competition from global powers like China and Russia. Critics, however, are voicing concerns about the potential ramifications of such drastic cuts. Many argue that reducing personnel could hinder the State Department's ability to effectively engage with international partners and address global crises. Former diplomats have expressed fears that the downsizing may lead to a dilution of expertise and institutional knowledge that is vital for navigating complex diplomatic waters. "It's a dangerous gamble," remarked a former ambassador who wished to remain anonymous. At a time when the U.S. needs to project strength and coherence, this could send a signal of retreat. The timing of the overhaul also coincides with a broader cultural shift within the Democratic Party, which has struggled to maintain public support in recent years. Polling data indicates a significant decline in favorable opinions towards the party, particularly among swing voters who feel that the Democrats have become too focused on identity politics. A recent survey revealed that only 31% of voters held a favorable view of the Democrats. This political backdrop raises questions about whether the State Department's restructuring can help restore confidence in the party's governance or if it will further exacerbate existing challenges. As the Biden administration navigates these reforms, it faces the intricate task of balancing immediate operational needs with long-term strategic goals. The recent emphasis on flexible authoritarianism in China, as highlighted by analysts, underscores the importance of a coherent foreign policy strategy that aligns diplomatic efforts with national interests. China's recent assertiveness on the global stage, especially in its foreign ministry's approach, serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of disorganization and inconsistency. Moving forward, the effectiveness of the State Department's restructuring will depend on its ability to not only streamline operations but also foster a culture of innovation and adaptability. As international dynamics continue to shift, the State Department must position itself at the forefront of global diplomacy, ensuring that it can respond proactively to emerging challenges. The next few months will be critical in determining whether these changes will yield the desired outcomes or if they will further complicate the already intricate web of U.S. foreign relations. In a remarkable breakthrough for particle physics, researchers at the Large Hadron Collider (LHC) have achieved the creation of anti-hyperhelium for the heaviest antimatter nucleus ever produced in a laboratory setting. This landmark discovery follows closely on the heels of previous advancements in antimatter research, including a similar achievement reported by the STAR collaboration at Brookhaven National Laboratory in 2024, which involved the creation of anti-hyperhydrogen-4. The LHC, known for its capacity to collide particles at unprecedented speeds, facilitated this significant finding through high-energy collisions of lead ions. As physicist Benjamin Donegas from Goethe University Frankfurt noted, the creation of anti-hyperhelium-4 opens a new avenue in our understanding of antimatter and its properties. Such findings not only contribute to fundamental physics but also raise questions about the universe's asymmetry between matter and antimatter, a fundamental mystery that has puzzled scientists for decades. The implications of this research extend beyond theoretical physics. Understanding the properties of antimatter could lead to advancements in technologies such as medical imaging and particle accelerators. Researchers are optimistic that this groundbreaking work will pave the way for future explorations into the characteristics and potential applications of antimatter, which remains one of the least understood components of our universe. In a different realm of scientific discovery, researchers have reported the creation of a new color referred to as olo. This color, described as an intensely saturated teal, was experienced by 5 participants during an experimental study that involved the stimulation of specific cone cells in the human eye using a laser. Co-author Renning, an electrical engineer at the University of California, Berkeley, described the experience as jaw-dropping and emphasized the unique nature of the color, which cannot be replicated in conventional settings. This study represents a significant advancement in our understanding of color perception and may have applications in addressing color blindness. Ng highlighted the potential significance of this research, stating, "While the experience of olo is limited to our experimental setup, the insights gained could help us better understand the complexities of human vision." However, there are dissenting opinions on whether olo constitutes a true new color. Some experts argue that it may merely represent a more saturated version of existing colors, illustrating the complexity of color perception and the challenges inherent in defining new hues. Lastly, in a sobering counterpoint to the excitement surrounding these scientific achievements, news has emerged regarding the detention of a Harvard scientist, Ksenia Petrova, whose work in cancer diagnostics could be jeopardized. Petrova, a skilled researcher who developed computer scripts crucial for analyzing images from a groundbreaking microscope, has been held in an immigration detention center since February. Her arrest stemmed from a customs violation related to scientific samples, yet her situation reflects broader concerns about the impact of immigration policies on scientific talent in the U.S. Dr. Leon Peshkin, Petrova's mentor, expressed deep concern about the implications of her detention, stating, "The loss of talent like Ksenia is devastating to our research and the future of medicine." Experts have noted that the atmosphere of uncertainty surrounding immigration policies is causing international scientists to reconsider their plans to work in the U.S., which could have lasting repercussions for the country's position as a leader in scientific innovation. As these events unfold, the scientific community remains vigilant, hoping for favorable outcomes that will allow researchers like Petrova to continue their vital work. The juxtaposition of significant scientific achievements and the challenges posed by immigration policy underscores the complex landscape of modern research, one in which progress and obstacles coexist. Looking ahead, the promise of new discoveries in antimatter and color perception stands in contrast to the urgent need for a more welcoming environment for global scientific talent, highlighting the critical importance of fostering an inclusive atmosphere for innovation and discovery.